Welcome student in another session of grade 11 biology, chapter number 2, plant biological classification, and in this video we are going to discuss about kingdom Protista. The basic characteristics of kingdom Protista are it includes the single cell eukaryotes. They also have well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Some have flagella and some have cilia for the purpose of locomotion and movement. Protista are primarily aquatic in nature. Protista is a link with plants, animals and fungi. Here we can see in the diagram that Protista is linked with plant, fungi as well as animalia. The type of reproduction that Protista perform is sexual as well as asexual. Sexually, they show the cell fusion and zygote formation. So, both type of reproductions are observed in kingdom Protista. Protista are further divided into 5 classes. Those are chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoa. We will learn all these one by one. Let's begin with chrysophytes. Chrysophytes are found in freshwater and marine environments. They are microscopic and float passively in the water and are known as planktons. Most of them are photosynthetic because they contain chlorophyll as a pigment. It includes diatoms and golden algae. So these are the examples of chrysophytes, diatom and golden algae. Diatoms. Diatoms are siliceous cell walls forming two thin overlapping shells which fit together like a soap box. Here in this diagram you can see the two shells. They are arranged in such a way it looks like a soap box, and the cell wall is made up of silica. Diatoms are the chief producers in oceans. The cell wall deposits of diatoms over billions of years in their habitat is known as diatomaceous earth. This is used in polishing, filtration of oils and syrups in industry. So there is a role of diatomaceous earth. The role is it has been used as a polishing agent, and also it is being used for the filtration purpose in oil industries and syrup industries. Next is dinoflagellates. As the word indicates, dinoflagellates, so it has two flagellas. Two flagellas are present in it, mostly marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, blue, brown, red, depending on the main pigment which is present in the cell. The cell wall is stiff and it is made up of cellulose. Like in chrysophyte, it was made up of silica. Here it is made up of cellulose. Most of them have two flagella. One lies longitudinal and other transversely in the furrow between the two plates. These are known as plates, two plates. There is a transverse flagella and the longitudinal flagella which is present in it. Red dinoflagellates, which is all the example is Goniolux, undergoes rapid multiplication. Here in this diagram you can see it undergoes rapid multiplication and the sea will appear red, right? And these red dinoflagellates, they releases toxin which kills marine animals like fishes. So it is toxic. They also releases toxic and the entire ocean sea look like a red tide. Next one is euglenoids. They are mainly freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer which is known as pellicle. Here you can see instead of a cell wall or plasma membrane, they have a protein-rich layer which is known as pellicle. It gives flexibility to the body so they can move easily. They also have two flagella. One is short flagella, another one is long flagella. Unlike the dinoflagellates, they are not arranged transversely or longitudinal. They are arranged in the same plane, but one is long and another one is short. Euglenoids are photosynthetic in presence of sunlight, and when sunlight is absent, they act as heterotrophs. So they show both the type of mode of nutrition. So they are mesotrophic in nature. That is, in absence of sunlight, they act as a heterotroph, and in presence of sunlight, they act as a photosynthetic. The pigment is similar, like which is present in the higher plants. Example of euglenoid is euglena. Here also you can see flagella is there, short, and there are two flagellas, one and two flagellas are there. One is longer and another one is shorter flagella. Fourth one is slime molds. They are saprophytic protists. Till now, the three that we have discussed, that is chrysophyte, dinoflagellates, and euglenoids, all were photosynthetic in nature. But slime mold is saprophytic protista. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves engulfing organic matter. Here you can see in the diagram, so they don't have any particular structure, but they are moving along with the decaying twigs and the leaves that engulfing the entire organic matter. Under suitable condition, they form the aggregation called plasmodium. Here you can see they are forming an aggregations under favorable conditions, and they may spread over several feet. So they are forming a plasmodium which is not related to the plasmodium of malaria, right? It's not same, it's different. They are forming an aggregation called plasmodium and can grow longer, even several feet. Under unfavorable condition. That was about the favorable condition. Now we will talk about the under unfavorable condition. This plasmodium differentiate and forms a fruiting body. Here you can see tiny fruiting bodies are there which contain spores in it. Right? So here you can see entire cycle. A fruiting body undergo meiosis is going to give rise to spores. Spores will form the gametes, fertilization take place, zygote will form, plasmodium is going to form, and ultimately again they are going to give us the fruiting body which contains spores. And spores have the true walls. They are highly resistant and survive for many years. Spores are dispersed by air currents. So spores are non-motile. They need external energy, that is air, medium. Through air, they are dispersed. The last one is protozoans. Protozoans again is divided into four groups: amoeboid, flagellated, ciliated, and sporozoans. Protozoans are highly heterotrophs, predator or parasites. Yes, so they are either the predators or parasite. They are primitive relatives of animals. So if we focus on all the 5 types of protistas, the initially 3 shows the link between, initially 3 were showing link with plants, plant kingdom. Then fourth one, slime mold, show the link with fungus, and this is showing link with animal. That's why it's in my previous slides I told you that it is the connecting link. It has a link with plants, animals, and fungi. So let's begin with the amoeboid protozoas. They live in fresh water, seawater, or moist soil. They move and capture prey by putting out pseudopodia, that are false feet. Example is amoeba. Marine forms have silica shells on their surface. Some are parasite like ant amoeba, which causes the digestion problem if it's consumed, like if it's present in water. If a person consumes contaminated water, it will cause a digestive problem. Next is flagellated protozoa. They are free-living or parasitic. They have flagella, as the word indicates. Flagellated, that is flagella, is present in it. Parasitic form causes diseases like sleeping sickness. Example is trypanosoma. Trypanosoma is a protozoa that causes sleeping sicknesses, which is flagellated. Plasmodium is also there, but that comes in the other group of protozoans. Next is ciliated protozoa. They are aquatic, actively move using cilia. So they are here. The function of cilia is active locomotion. They have a cavity which is known as glutate. It's not gluten, sorry, it's gulate that opens to outside. Due to the movement of cilia, water with food enters into gluten. So food is entered through gluten, that you can say it's like a mouth, it's acting like a mouth cavity. Example is paramecium. The last one is sporozoans. Sporozoans, they have an infectious spore-like stages in their life. So what's the difference in the sporozoans and flagellated? The difference in flagellated and sporozoan is they shows infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. Example is Plasmodium, which causes malaria in human. So such kind of protozoa, they have a specific state which is known as infectious stage, which is present in which these organisms start producing spores, and this is how they reproduces. So in this video we have discussed about the protista, their different groups and the subgroups that are present in protista. In our next video we will learn more about this chapter. Thank you for watching.